Well, it's just turned 6:30 on the 20th of January, and there's no one here for the 6:30 meeting. So I would normally just start reading the Bible, which I'm going to put off for this particular message, as I thought I'd talk about evangelism primarily. I have a major call to bring people to God, but not really as an evangelist. And that's a small part of my call. But as a whole, my call is for people to get to know God, bring people to God, to give them a strong foundation in Christianity, build their relationship with God, help them find their calling if they don't know their calling, help them train in that calling, help them launch that calling, and support them with a community of fellow believers all around the world. So wherever a person in the world might be, I don't know, let's say Chicago, USA, we might have at some stage hundreds of people all in Chicago, maybe even thousands, who knows? And when somebody comes to Christ, gets born again, they can connect to our members in their local area, let's say Chicago, and those local members will then be responsible for discipling them, teaching them how to be a Christian, etc., and helping them find a church and get settled in a church and find their calling, train in that calling, and launch their call. So it is a complete passage, a complete journey for anyone that turns to God. Now, of course, evangelism's only just the very first part of that. And the great majority of what this ministry is actually after the evangelism stage. Most of what we will be doing is putting the community together, getting everybody to join and have people meet in local areas so they get to know other members in their local areas, even if they go to different churches. It doesn't matter. You know, it might be a matter of they'll all meet at a coffee shop once a month or something like that. And they're all from different churches. Fine. There might be two or three people from each church of the city. Fine. Great. These people can help anyone new, because somebody that's new might want a Pentecostal church, and these people know what the better Pentecostal churches are, and they'll have people to help them in that area. Or they might not like Pentecostal churches. They might want to go to a Baptist church or something like that. So we'll have people from Baptist churches, people in every kind of church. Now, it does, however, start with evangelism. And I have acted as an evangelist a fair bit many years ago. I would be the most likely person to bring new people to church, and I would be the most likely person to run around picking up people in my car or my van and driving them to church. So introducing new people or bringing people, because it was not really my call, but it was something that I saw as important. And even though it wasn't my call, I didn't have a hold of my call at the time. So because it was important, I would go out and do what God calls all of us to do. Go out and tell people about God. I had a different approach to most. I considered the street preaching side of things as potentially detrimental, if anything. Okay, not such a bad idea, but not a good idea either. All too often in the modern era, that was the way things happened thousands of years ago. If people wanted to present a message, they didn't have TVs or computers with the internet. They didn't have uh, even older media like newspapers and magazines. They couldn't advertise. The only way that any message would get out to the people publicly would be somebody that goes to the marketplace, stands up on a soapbox or whatever it might be, and calls out to the crowd and shouts their message out. And until modern media came around, until the invention of the newspaper and the printing press for the newspaper, etc., and until the invention of TV and today's internet, etc., it was the only way people could talk or people could spread a message of any kind, let alone God's message and a message on evangelism. So it was the common thing to do, to go and find yourself a soapbox and stand on that soapbox and preach a message. The church hasn't really modernized. The majority of people that call themselves evangelists are still people who go to the street corners and shout out messages, except, well, the way they modernize is now they use speakers and, microphones and speaker systems so they can be heard by more people. But the method itself is essentially still the same. They still present themselves in front of the public. They are still standing on a soapbox. They're not finding the same kind of connection using other media, which is one thing we should do. We should be trying to get the message out using videos, etc., things like this. However, I'm just going to talk about the public side. I too go out and seek to tell people about God, but what I used to do, and this is sort of always been something that is, I don't know, I can't say a passion of mine, but a bugbear in a sense as well. I would go and hang around where those people are screaming out, "You need God," or "You're going to hell," or whatever they want to scream out. And I would watch people walking by and some of the time mocking them, some of the time doing whatever, some of the time intentionally looking the other way. And depending on their responses, I would often just comment to those people walking by. It's like, and I would not pretend to be with whoever is preaching. I would not pretend to not be with them either. But I'd just say a random comment about them, like, what do you think of these people? Are they a bunch of fools that don't know what they're doing? And, some of the time people would respond and I might say, well, hang on, just talk to me about what these people are doing for a moment, or something like that. And I found that I had led more people to God by talking about those other people that are preaching a message than any time when I ever tried preaching a message myself. The one-on-one conversation is going to do far more beneficially than screaming at them. If anything, I find that with all those conversations that I had with people about those who are preaching, most people are turned off by street preachers. So it can be detrimental. Anyway, in recent times, you may have seen my other videos where I'm interviewing people about God and about Christianity and the like. And my intent is to show you a few different things. One, how few people are Christians. Two, out of those people who call themselves Christians, how many of them actually know anything about Christianity? Or is it just a title that they're giving themselves? Like a young Catholic man, teenager, did an interview for me, and I could tell that he really knew nothing about Christianity. He knew a fair bit about Catholicism, about religious things, but about religious ceremonies and stuff. And if you know Christianity, it's not about ceremony. Did Jesus come and say, great, we're going to set up ceremonies so you can be saved? Actually, there are already people in his world that lived by ceremony. And what did he think or say about them? The scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees. His attitude was that their religion, or being religious, was a downfall for them, and they were causing trouble for anyone that did want a relationship with God. What's changed? We certainly have very religious churches, and not all of them. I mean, certain churches are very religious, like the Catholic Church or the Anglican Church. They are all about robes and ceremony and doing all this ritual stuff. The attitude of Jesus is that ritual is going to do nothing for you. That ritual is to be replaced with relationship. So, back to evangelism. The whole point being, there were very few people who had a relationship with God. Even the people that called themselves Christians, most of them either never really went to church or anything like that, or maybe they went to church on occasion, but it was quite a real religious, ritualistic thing. The relationship wasn't there. And if you know anything about what I've been talking about the whole time, Christianity is not about the ritual. Christianity is about the relationship. Charis. And it all starts with evangelism. So I've just said that getting out and preaching on the street corners is going to be useless. Well, maybe not totally useless. Maybe with every 100 people, you'll turn away 90 of them, and 90 of them will go, gee, I don't like these Christian people a little bit more than they did before they saw you. And 1 out of 100 might say, well, okay, my life is a bit mucked up. Yeah, maybe we can talk about God. Whereas if we simply didn't get it out and preach at people, but we gave them the opportunity to find you, if we created conversations on a caring level rather than a religious level, we're here to find out what your needs are and to help you meet those needs. We're here to bring you love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, gentleness, kindness, self-control, these kinds of things into your life, and get rid of the hate, the anger, the frustrations of your life. We're here to help you get a better life rather than you need to get the sin out of your life and therefore not go to hell messages that people want to preach. Just people aren't interested. But they are interested in things that will inspire them, things that will answer the needs they have. So I have, and you've seen my shirts, that say things like Christian revival, start it now, ask me how. Well, that's not aimed at the unsaved people. That's aimed at the Christians, to have them talk to me about effective methods of revival. I've created some t-shirts for the unsaved, and they're messages like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, because I just recently, the last couple of days, these shirts have arrived. And here's one of them. I'm happier each day. Ask me how. If somebody's got a problem and they're not happy, you never know. They might see my shirt and say, look, what'll make me happy? Come on. You, you know, you're saying that you're happier each day, and I can ask you how. So what's going to make me happy? Well, then you've got an opportunity to tell them about God. The reverse of the shirt says, talking to me could change your life, or talking with me could change your life. And that's a message that isn't going to turn people off like that. You see a person wearing a Jesus shirt or a shirt with a cross on it, and it's like, straight away, it's like, oh, okay, well, I know what they're about. They're going to preach hell at me. Is that really what people want? Or do they want their needs met? This is an opinion, but I'm going to say that people don't want to hear you preaching scriptures at them. People don't want to hear you preaching a hellfire message at them. People do want answers in their life. And if you present yourself with a message saying, look, I'm here to answer your problems, not I'm here to push God on you, you never know, you might get a response. I know how often I get responses from t-shirts, no matter what they are. And it's very rarely. So I expect maybe I won't really get too many responses. However, if I walk up to a person just to start talking to them, or if I'm doing interviews on the street, etc., wearing something like this, they already know what I'm on about. It's something that is intended for them to have a better life. People want that. Just happens that the same Jesus that you are avoiding because of these people that are trying to shove God down your throat is the same Jesus that supplies love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control in your life through the Holy Spirit, because they're the fruits of the Spirit. And they replace the weight of sin and the weight of despair, the hate, the anger, the anxiety, the depression, the lack of self-control. So, evangelism. I don't do it much. I need to do it more. And I'm not even an evangelist. I don't have time for evangelism because I'm setting up a massive ministry which takes, well, I'm doing it an average of about 80 odd hours a week, 12 to 14 hours a day, except take out maybe an hour for a shower and a couple of meals. Otherwise, that's all I do. Oh, maybe one day a week I'll do a little bit of shopping and stuff as well. So, still around about 80 hours a week, though. Why am I talking about time? Well, if I'm that busy and I find the need as somebody that is not an evangelist to get out there and tell people about God in a loving, caring way, what about yourselves? It's the responsibility of everyone. Every person is called to lead others to God and to disciple them. Every person is called to be a light that is not hidden. Every person is called to carry their cross. And when you carry a cross, that's a public thing. And a light is a public thing. You don't hide a light. And Jesus said at the end of the Gospels, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation and go make disciples of all men, discipling them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Discipling them. We are to get out there, tell them about God, lead them to God, and take them through the journey. Okay, look, time's up. As always, the details are on the screen. Contact us. Let us know what you need to be able to do what you're called to do and to get out and spread God. Bless you. Govern well in Caris.